Hi, this is Eric Sloof. I'm at the VMware booth, and I'm joined by Cary. Andy, how are you?
I'm good. Yourself?
I'm fine, thanks. So we're at the education part of the VMware booth. This is where you can get more information about training courses and certifications. And when I talk to students, I see that there is a lot of misunderstanding about the new certification path with the extra foundation exam. Can you clarify a little bit about the new certification path?
I can. I mean, the easiest thing to do is if we just quickly look at, I don't know if you can see this pyramid. We still have the VMware Certified Associate, which is basically aimed at people that just need to understand the language of VMware. The next level is obviously the VMware Certified Professional that people are obviously chasing. There are mandatory requirements for attending classes to get that. One of the major changes that have happened with the VCP is now split into two exams. You have to take a vSphere Foundation exam first, and then you take what they call a VCP elective. So that's either down the data center virtualization track, or it might be the desktop mobility, or it might be cloud automation and so on. Then above that, that's where it starts to get interesting. We now actually have this thing called the VMware Certified Implementation Expert. So that replaces the old VMware Certified Advanced Professional certification. And it's now actually made up of two exams. So you have to pass a lab-based exam, so you're in a live lab, given questions, you have to fix things, you have to deploy parts.
Is that comparable to the VCAP DCA exam we had in the past?
Yeah, it's very comparable. I mean, you're going to have a VCAP, equivalent like a VCAP DCA and a DCD, but they're not called that anymore. There'll just be a VCIX lab exam, and there'll be a VCIX sort of design exam. And once you've got both of those exams, you become a VCIX.
Is there a difference in the length of the exams? Because I remember from the past that I had to sit there for 4 hours without going to the toilet. Is it shortened a little bit?
Don't know, is the honest answer, because they're about to start betaing the design exams. So keep an eye on the website over the next couple of weeks, because there'll be beta versions of those exams coming out. The lab exams will come out in the new year. Now, one of the questions that we normally get is, how do I upgrade from my VCAP DCA or my DCD to the VCIX level? Well, the good news is that if you actually hold a VCAP DCA, then what you can do is you can take the VCIX design exam and you become a VCIX. Now, if you actually have the VCAP design exam, you can go and take the VCIX lab exam when it comes available. All right, so there is a sort of an upgrade path on that. Now, I don't know how long that upgrade is going to be available for.
And if you have both, in my case I have both the DCA and the DCD, can you choose either one of them?
Yeah, you can. If you've got VCAP DCA and the DCD, you just need to take one of the VCIX exams. So whether it's the lab exam or the design exam, and then you become a VCIX.
Okay, that's a nice upgrade path, indeed. And once you have reached that level, there is one higher level.
So yeah, obviously we've got the VCDX, the VMware Certified Design Expert. If you're a VCDX 5, okay, if you want to go to a VCDX 6, then you need to take the VCIX design exam. Okay, then you become a VCDX 6. But obviously, if you're wanting to go to a VCDX now, you have to get the VCIX certifications. Obviously, you can still do the version 5 track if you wanted to. And that is where you have to sort of request to submit a design. And you know this, Eric, you then actually put in front of a board of people in a defense where they throw rocks at you for a couple of hours to actually prove that your design is safe and it does make sense. And then at the end of that, you become a VCDX. It's a tough process to go through. I think we actually hit 500 VCDXs a couple of months ago. So, it's still quite a small community. But as I said, there is going to be an upgrade path from a VCDX 5 to a 6.
Okay, that's great. So to do a little recap, if you start out fresh in virtualization and you don't have any VCP certification at all, or everything has been expired, then the VCA is mandatory?
No. The VCA is it's aimed at business people. All right, they're not going to be the implementers, they're not going to be the designers. They just need to understand the language of VMware. So when they're in those meetings with the techies, they actually, when someone says VMware HA, they can nod sagely and say, "Oh, I know what they're talking about." Now there's free e-learning that goes with that as well. It's a couple of hours length. You then go and take the exam at You can do it online, but you have to register through Pearson VUE. So the actual level when it gets technical is the VCP. So you have to pass the vSphere 6 Foundations exam. And
there's something special with that exam, because it's non-proctored. Does it mean that you can do it from home and put your laptop on the side and open Google and try to find answers real quick?
So yeah, I mean, it's you still have to go through the registration process. You then actually take the exam online from home. So yeah, you could, if you wanted to, you could have a lab this side and do the exam here. But trust me, if you don't know the answer to the questions quickly enough, you're going to struggle. Okay. So the class that aligns to it, as I said before, is the vSphere 6 ICM.
Okay, so the ICM aligns to the foundation, and which training course is aligning to the old VCP exam then?
Right. So the VCP 6 Data Center Virtualization elective exam, which is the next one you take after the vSphere 6 Foundation, the class that aligns to that would be the vSphere 6 Optimize and Scale. Another 5-day class. Our curriculum developers and our exam writers have got together and they've made sure that they align better than they maybe have in the past. So it's that with the class to go on.
Okay, that's great. Great. And the implementation experts exams were released when?
So they haven't come out yet. There will be some design beta exams coming out in the next couple of weeks. I don't know the exact dates. But in the new year is when they will actually be releasing the finally released VCIX.
The production version.
Yeah. But the class that will actually align to those exams, the VCIX, is you'll actually see a lot of classes and they're having their title Design and Deploy. So there'll be a vSphere 6 Design and Deploy. There'll be a Cloud Automation Design and Deploy. So those classes will actually align to both exams. All right, so they're quite intense because it's like 6.5 days content in 5 days. And the really good thing about it is that it actually aligns to PSO services that we actually sell. There is actually a PSO service we sell called vSphere 6 Design and Deploy. So we are using that as our template for creating the class.
So it's a real fast track this time.
It's going to be pretty intense, I think, yeah.
Okay. Well, Andy, many thanks. If people want to know more, where can they go? Because I see a website here.
Well, the best place to start is just to go to vmware.com/certification, and you'll see on here, it actually shows you the tracks. It also actually answers questions like, I'm a VCP 5, it hasn't expired, what do I need to do? Or I'm a VCP 5, it's expired, what do I need to do? So this is honestly the best place to actually start. And if you actually want to know what's tested in the exams, you just click on the exams that we've actually got on here, and then you'll actually see there's a blueprint which actually shows you all the design of, everything's actually tested in the exam. So the one thing you need to do is read that first. Don't come to me, sort of moaning, saying that I wasn't expecting that to be in the exam, because my first answer will be, did you read the blueprint? And you go, no, I didn't. Right.
The blueprint is really important. It's a PDF and it also contains links these days, and it will point you to the right objectives that need to be covered in the exam.
Yeah, so it's changed. If it's vSphere 6 track, it's changed slightly. You'll see the exam objectives, and you click on that link, and then it takes you to the sort of what's going to be tested and any other white papers. Whereas on the vSphere 5 track, you're right, there was a PDF that you actually read. But we've sort of been a bit more intelligent about trying to break that down, because that's quite a big document. So if there's areas that you're thinking, maybe I'm not so good on that, haven't implemented, say, like VMware HA for a long time, then maybe that's where you want to go start first.
So if it's not in the blueprint, it's not in the exam?
Correct.
Okay. So there is one other tool which can be used to prep for the exam. I saw that the VMware Learning Zone is offering 3 preparations. How does it work?
So you can subscribe to the VMware Learning Zone. Again, you'll see when you go onto the education website, which is vmware.com/education, and you'll see in there the link to VMware Learning Zone. That's our education subscription service. So the standard version of that is $500. That's the US pricing. I don't know what it is for the different regions. And you get content to a whole series of videos just starting out on a product or a deeper dive, and you get to see my ugly face again, because I've got some videos that I've done on the fault tolerance that was introduced in vSphere 6. What we've also done is we've actually created some individual exam preparation areas in the VLZ. So you can pay for each one individually for $300. You get access to that for 180 days. whereas the VLZ standard is like whole year, so you get 365 days. But that's just videos. So the exam preps are for 180 days. They'll take you through the exam objectives that are going to be tested, so it's almost like getting you to read that information about what's going to be tested and give you some example questions in there. So we've got them for the vSphere Foundation exam. We've got one for the VCP6 Data Center Virtualization elective. And if you've already got a VCP5, which hasn't expired, then you can actually go and take the VCP6 DCV Delta, and there's a Delta preparation exam as well. Currently they're $300 each. There's a 10% discount if you register and will purchase it during VMworld. If you want all 3 exam preps and you actually want the VMware Learning Zone with all the videos, then we've got an offer at VMworld for $1,000. You get everything. Okay.
Okay, that's great. Well, many thanks for the interview, Andy. If you want to know more about certification and education, go to the website or visit the VMware booth and go to Andy Cary. Thank you.
Cheers. Thank you very much.